Welcome to Frederick at its best. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner, and we're here today to join Americans across our great nation to celebrate Veterans Day, a day when we honor the men and women who've served our country or who are serving our country and protecting our freedoms. Veterans Day provides us with an opportunity to pause and remember all of the sacrifices that were made by ordinary citizens who did extraordinary things to defend our country. Veterans Day was first celebrated in 1919 as Armistice Day, and in 1954 it was renamed as Veterans Day when President Eisenhower signed legislation legally changing the name. There are many organizations and services in Frederick County that assist our veterans all throughout the year. Those include the Maryland Veterans Commission of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, the American Legion, which focuses on services to our veterans, service members, and communities. And the American Legion currently has about 2.4 million members in 14,000 posts worldwide. The Legion was chartered and incorporated by Congress in 1919 as a patriotic veterans organization devoted to mutual helpfulness. It is the nation's largest wartime veteran service organization committed to mentoring youth and sponsorship of wholesome programs in our community, advocating patriotism and honor, and promoting strong national unity and security. The Veterans of Foreign Wars, or the VFWs, has been instrumental in establishing a Veterans Administration, creating a GI Bill for the 20th century, and the development of the National Cemetery System, as well as the fight for compensation for Vietnam veterans exposed to Agent Orange, and for veterans diagnosed with Gulf War syndrome. Annually, more than 1.7 million members of the VFW and its auxiliaries contribute more than 8.6 million hours of volunteerism in our communities around the country, including participating in Make a Difference Day and National Volunteer Week. Frederick County government, and Frederick County Workforce Services in particular, provides priority service to veterans in all Department of Labor job training programs. Workforce Services provides services such as case management, career counseling, transition assistance, individual job development, and referrals to employment. The office can connect veterans with local programs that will pay for training, licenses, and certifications in their field of choice. Workforce Services provides various trainings specifically designed to prepare veterans for civilian careers. It also provides access to veteran benefits, information, assistance with government job applications, and priority hiring through federal contractors. There's also the Veterans Services Office at Frederick Community College that offers academic and support services for veterans enrolling in classes at Frederick Community College and help for returning veterans to become successful in civilian and college life and making sure they can access their educational benefits. And of course, we want to note and recognize Fort Detrick, who is an important part of our community, for the work that they do every day to support our country. There are many other wonderful volunteer and nonprofit organizations in our community that strive to support our veterans. I'd now like to read our proclamation. Whereas on Veterans Appreciation Day, we pay tribute to the service and sacrifice of the men and women who, in defense of our freedom, have bravely worn the uniform of the United States. And whereas, according to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, in November 1919, President Wilson proclaimed November 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day, the national day dedicated to showing our appreciation to veterans, with the following words: "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in our country's service, and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us, and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of nations. And whereas from the fields and forests of war-torn Europe to the jungles of Southeast Asia, from the deserts of Iraq to the mountains of Afghanistan, brave patriots have protected our nation's ideals, rescued millions from tyranny, and helped spread freedom around the globe. Americans' veterans answered the call when asked to protect our nation from some of the most brutal and ruthless tyrants, terrorists, and militaries in the world has ever known. They stood tall in the face of grave danger and enabled our nation to become the greatest force of freedom in human history. Members of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard have answered a high calling to service and have helped secure America at every turn. And whereas our country is forever indebted to our veterans for their quiet courage and exemplary service, we also remember and honor those who laid down their life in freedom's defense. These brave men and women made the ultimate sacrifice for our benefit. On Veterans Appreciation Day, we remember these heroes for their valor, their loyalty, and their dedication to our country. Their selfless sacrifices continue to inspire us today as we continue to work to advance peace and extend freedom around the world. Now, therefore, as the County Executive of Frederick County, I hereby proclaim November 1st as Veterans Appreciation in Frederick County and encourage all our residents to recognize the valor and sacrifice of our veterans. And I also certainly encourage all of our citizens to come out on Veterans Day, November 11th, to attend one of the many ceremonies that are out there in our community to honor our veterans and our members in active service. So I do have a number of guests who have joined us here today, so we can hear a little bit more about what they're involved in and their role in providing support for our veterans. We'll start with you, Rick. If you could introduce yourself and say a few words.
Good morning. My name is Rick Stupp, Master Sergeant, U.S. Army, retired with 23 years of service. I'm a proud past commander of Francis Scott Key Post 11, the American Legion, who we serve our veterans here in Frederick City and Frederick County. Want to highlight two events that are coming up this week. This Sunday, I think it's the 85th annual Brunswick Veterans Day Parade. It begins at 1 with a short ceremony, and then the parade. Come out and thank your vets if you're down in that part of the county. It's a wonderful parade. Our post, Francis Scott Key Post 11, will host our annual Veterans Day event at Memorial Park here in Frederick on Tuesday, 11 November at 11 o'clock. Please come out. We usually have a nice crowd. We like to have the whole place packed and the roads stopped for traffic. So please come out and thank a vet and their family.
Thank you. I'm Rachel Nacklis. I'm the Director of Veteran Services at Frederick Community College. We provide a variety of services for our student veterans and their family members. We help students understand how to apply for their veteran educational benefits. We help them with the application process to come to the college, help them with all their academic advising, their registration. We basically have developed a one-stop shop, so when a veteran or one of their dependents using veteran benefits comes to our campus, they're fully supported from the time they enter the campus through graduation. We also provide referrals to community resources and campus resources. We have opened a few years ago a veteran center on campus, which has been wonderful because it gives a chance for our veterans who are on campus to come together, meet each other, support each other, and not feel so isolated when they're first coming onto the campus. So that's been very well utilized. And then we have a veterans club that is very active in working with our campus veterans and giving them activities and just, connections on campus. So if you have any questions, please contact us right at the college. I do want to mention that on November 16th, we're going to have a special reception for our campus veterans and their families in support of their service. And we have a special guest speaker coming, Sergeant Major Carlton Kent. He was the 16th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. He's going to be visiting us and sharing his thoughts with our campus veterans. And we look forward to having that opportunity to celebrate our veterans and their families.
I'm Bob Hartman. I'm a member of the Maryland Veterans Commission. The Maryland Veterans Commission is a program under the Maryland Department of Veterans Affairs Secretary, that former Marine, George Owings III. The Maryland Department of Veterans Affairs has many programs going on. To highlight a few, they have a service officer program which has USVA trained and certified service officers throughout the state, with one located right here in Frederick in the courthouse. They also operate a cemetery program with 5 active military cemeteries that are run by the state that are accepting burials. Where the only national cemetery in Maryland that's located in Baltimore only takes cremations. We also have the Veterans Home in Charlotte Hall in St. Mary's County that provides assisted living, skilled and long-term care, as well as rehabilitation services. It's a beautiful campus down there. The facility is rated 5-star by those who grade elderly care facilities. And it does have a waiting list, but unfortunately, with the aging of the veterans population, particularly World War II and Korea, that list changes every day. I represent Vietnam Veterans of America on the Maryland's Veterans Commission, and I represent the state of Maryland on the Martinsburg Partnership Board at the VA hospital in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
And I'm Michelle Day. I'm director of the county's Department of Workforce Services, and as County Executive Gardner specified, we provide employment and training resources and prioritize our veterans and their spouses as well. In addition to the workshops and access to training and training funding, we also can help them translate their military skill sets into civilian skill sets so that they can appeal to businesses and future employers.
My name's Greg Edens. I'm the outreach specialist for a program called the Vet Center. We are branched off of the Department of Veterans Affairs. Basically, we are a no red tape approach to being able to seek mental health treatment and readjustment counseling services branched off of the VA in order to be the most accessible we can in the community for veterans. So what we've done recently, we've created a community access center in 2 locations in Frederick County, one at the Department of Aging and Frederick Community College, both. So we kind of get 2 different generations of veterans with both of those locations. One of the things we have coming up is the 16th as well, in partnership with Frederick Community College. At 3 p.m. we have our grand opening ceremony. All veterans or spouses, significant others of veterans are welcome to come. This program is, again, a no red tape approach. There's no DD-214. The only thing you would need is your DD-214. We look for veterans that may struggle with PTSD, anxiety, military sexual trauma, bereavement counseling, and we also do a lot of marital counseling as well for veterans. We're one of the only programs within the VA that sees veterans that have other than honorable discharge and dishonorable discharge. There's no wait times, and a human being actually answers our phone, so that's one of our really good selling points that we like to tell people. We're based out of Martinsburg at 300 Foxcroft Avenue. Our phone number is 304-263-6776.
All right, thank you. I'll pass it to you, Harold.
My name is Harold Lauder. I was 4 years in the Army. 1966, I got out in 1970. I spent a year in Vietnam. I was there doing TED of 1968. When I got back, I joined the state police, and then I used the VA benefits to get a helicopter rating, which I used my helicopter rating for the state police and the citizens of Maryland for about 25 years and almost 7 months.
Okay. Will you make sure that's turned on? It was turned on, yes.
Okay. I'm Bob Smurray, a past commander of Post 11, 10 years ago. I've been coming to these for a long time and appreciated the county for doing it. One other thing I would like to say, the Veterans Day program at Memorial Park is next Friday, the 11th, at 11 o'clock. And one other thing, it's in 3 years, we'll be celebrating the 100th anniversary of Post 11 and the American Legion. And we're going to have a program then. Rick's been working on putting it together and putting our history together. So be aware of that. In 3 years, we'll be celebrating again.
Hi, I'm Richard Griffin, Director of Economic Development for the City of Frederick, and I'm here in support of the veterans and the services that are provided. I also serve on the Frederick County Workforce Development Board, and obviously very proud of all of the different assistance and programs that we provide for veterans. I am a veteran myself. I served with the 11th Armored Cav as a border guard on the East German border during the 1980s.
Hi, I'm Sandy Wagerman. I served 6 years in the Army Reserves and was a broadcast journalist with the 356 BPAD at Fort Meade. I now work as the Business Development Analyst for the Frederick County Office of Economic Development, and we work with veteran-owned businesses using state and federal programs to help make our businesses successful.
Hi, I'm Dr. Heather West, and I'm with the Vet Centers, and Greg pointed out earlier that we are at Frederick Community College as well as the Department of Aging. I come from a military family. My father served on the USS Forrestal, and my service and my honor is to work with our veterans and to help with PTSD, family counseling, MST, and any other readjustment issues that you may encounter.
All right, I want to thank all of you for joining me here today for Veterans Appreciation Day. And I certainly want to encourage all of our viewers to participate in a Veterans Day celebration. Certainly the American Legion has regular events to honor our veterans from all wars. They certainly recently had a luncheon for World War II veterans and then also for Korean veterans. I appreciate that all of our colleges, our Frederick Community College, but our other colleges in Frederick County are reaching out to our younger veterans who are returning from Iraq or Afghanistan or other periods of conflict. We do know that our young people are looking for assistance a bit differently than prior generations. We do know there's a lot of incidents of PTSD, and we want people to know, parents, spouses, veterans themselves, that there are services out there for people who are finding it difficult to adjust back to civilian life. And really, sometimes it's very difficult because people around you may not be experiencing what you're experiencing. So thank you for all you do. I really appreciate everybody trying to provide assistance for our veterans who have dedicated themselves to protecting us and our freedoms in our country. So I want to conclude today's ceremony with two important words I'd like to extend on behalf of all the citizens of Frederick County to our veterans, and that's thank you. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on Veterans Day.